Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tony from her Homestead Skills. I almost said our Homestead Skills, but that's okay. I'll adjust again. Anyway, hope everyone's doing well. We have a beautiful spring day here finally. I think we're going up to 60 degrees. And this morning I decided that, it's been dry-ish, like the puddles of water have been drying up, so I thought I would stop by my garden this morning. Didn't know if I'd just, go in and take a peek and then leave, or if I'd actually be able to spend some time there. And it was dry enough, and I also do have a ground cover cloth on most of my plot now anyway. I did that to keep the weeds down because I knew that last year I would not have the amount of time to spend on the garden that I normally do. I mean, I usually go there every day, even if it's just for a short period of time. So I did stay. I did a lot of cleanup. I rarely take down in the fall. I know some people like to clean up and take down in the fall. By the time the fall comes, I don't really want much to do with the garden. And everything is dying, and I harvest what I could, and I just let the critters take the rest, and they do. And whether it's the birds or the rabbits or whatever the case is, the critters do come and take it. And then of course the weather dries everything up, and it's a lot easier in my mind to clean it up in the spring than what it is in the fall. You have to do it one time or another anyway, so I just happen to do it in the spring. And there are certain chores that I only want to do in the spring, like I have a lavender bed. I know I make a big deal about my lavender. I enjoy growing lavender and sage and a few other herbs. But I have this well-established lavender row, and I cut that back in the spring. So when it flowers during the summer, I take all the flowers, I cut them back, take them, tie them up in bundles, hang them upside down and let them dry. And once they're dried, then I rub them into a bowl, take all the little bits, and yes, this room smells of lavender every time I walk in here. And, and if it stops, you just rub it a little bit, and then you've got the scent again all over the place. But in the spring, what I do is I take that plant down like it grows, and it grows quite large, and thick. The stems grow fairly thick once it's well established. So in the spring, I take it down to about 4 inches. I take the whole plant down, and people might think that that plant is dead. It looks all dried out, mostly. You do have some tips. Some of the plant does grow back after I take my flower cuttings, and you have these tips, and most of them are dried out because the winter and the winds and everything dries them out. But then there's some of them put out new growth right at the ends. It's already starting, and I don't really want long branches with new growth coming out of them. So I cut these. I take some of them to restart to produce new plants. So I will be propagating these. I took some. I could have taken more, but I think that this is enough, and they won't all develop roots, but enough of them will do well that I can start some more plants. So rather than having the plants all unruly and growing from that point, as I said, I cut it back to about 4 inches, and then when it comes up, it's a beautiful shape and very easily to harvest the flowers off of when they come back. And it makes the plant healthier, stronger. And now that I've cut it back, probably in about 2 weeks, I'm going to start seeing little buds growing off the stems that I left there, and more from just the root itself. So that is one job that I do in the spring no matter what. So that I did today. Cleaned up some other long weeds. I mean, I have the weeds blowing in from my neighbor quite a bit. So even if I had cleaned it, I'd have his stuff growing after I cleaned it, which is There's not too much you can do about that in a community garden. So, you know, you take it as is. It's better than not having a garden at all. And anyway, I'm pretty much organized this year. So I figured I have time to clean up my garden, do my spring planting, and then late June, we'll be heading down to Alabama for about 3 weeks, a month, somewhere in that range. Mark wants to get down there for Independence Day, and plus, of course, the big celebration this year for the 250th anniversary. I don't know if we'll be doing anything special ourselves, but he wants to be down there for that time. Then we'll be coming back, and I'll be able to harvest here. So I'll be able to, you know, do my harvest preps that I do and my preserving that I do up here in the fall before we go back again for the winter. So I think that's working out well. I mean, it would be so much easier if I was just in one spot, but I'm not, and that I have to take things the way they are and try to accommodate my schedule. And this year it's working out better. Last year is when we actually took possession of the house, and it was a nightmare. I mean, there was a lot of things that we had to do before we can even, anyway, we did a lot of work on the house just even prior to spending any time in it. I mean, the hydro had to be redone, the electrical box, and the well house with the well itself, the well pump, had to be looked after, you know, get it started. You need electricity, you need water, and those things were absolutely primary. After that, we, little by little, tore things apart and fixed some things up. Anyway, the weather is finally starting to turn here, and the likelihood of me spending some time in my garden on a daily basis is pretty much the way it's going to go now. That'll get me out of here. It'll give me something to do. And I'm not really in the mood to be prepping a lot of food, but I will be trying to grow some things here. And when I get down south in June, July, I'll be trying to see what I can establish there, perhaps for a winter garden. And we'll see if I can plant some herbs if those ones didn't take because of the drought. So we'll see what we can do. Hopefully some of them did take. Also, if some of these fig cuttings that I took, if they actually rooted, I'll be planting them in the ground, which will allow them to establish themselves much stronger. So anyway, just a short, sweet video. I love being back out in the garden, and I know some of you have already been there, and others down probably in Texas are already harvesting some of your garden. Awesome, must be nice. Here we aren't even planting yet. But we have a short growing season, but we can grow some pretty awesome things sometimes. At least I'm accustomed to this growing season, so I'm very comfortable with what I can get away with and what I can't. And I cannot get away with growing sweet potatoes here. The growing season isn't long enough, but I might try to plant some of those down south this fall. And potatoes, they'll grow fine, so I'll probably plant some potatoes away from my tomatoes, but we'll see what we do. Anyway, clean up first. Once I get everything cleaned up, then I can start to determine where I'm going to do what and try and do something. Okay, well, here is my lavender, and you might think that it looks dead, and we don't really see a lot of growth down in the stems just yet, but it's coming, and there is some growth right at the end. So these are alive. They look dead. People think they're dead. Now I can take them back quite a bit right now. Like I can cut that, and actually I could root that, and I think I will. I have some here that are coming back that I will root. I'll take these home and put them in a pot. Let's see what I can do here. And the fact that I'm cutting these back does not hurt the plant at all. And here is one plant you'd think for sure is dead, but you know what? Just cut this back, And don't be afraid to cut it back hard in the spring. And you'd be surprised how much it'll come back. Okay, here are the two that I've cut back. Those are the ones I have yet to cut, and I'm going to cut them all right back. I've taken a few cuttings from some that are still alive, like this one is. I could have taken another cutting here, but I've got enough of them. Okay, this is Tony from her Homestead Skills. Talk to you real soon. Bye for now.